Okay, moving on now to item D, update on beach paid parking.
Thank you, Mayor. Council had requested that we delay discussing this item until today, June 1st, so we're bringing it back for council consideration. Staff is prepared to implement this whenever the council is ready to implement it. All we would need is your direction, and we'll get the signs up and start it. But there was some discussion at a couple of meetings back that maybe we wanted this to be delayed either temporarily or for the summer. So it's up for discussion, and Mr. Warren can answer any specific questions that you might have about it.
Okay, council, questions, comments?
Mayor Pro Tem?
One moment, Mr. Morgan, and then I'll have you, Mr. Overdeer.
I would move to delay this program indefinitely.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Overdeer?
Well, I was going to make the motion and just delay it till the 1st of July, but I guess we'll see how this motion goes.
You can also make a substitute motion if you like.
Well, I would make a substitute motion to move the beach paid parking program on July 1st and initiate the free resident beach parking pass program and amend the parking hours for the beach parking zone to 3 a.m. until 11 p.m. And I think we've done that to accommodate the people, I guess, that go out early, meet the charter boats or whatever, and go fishing. So
Okay.
so that would be my substitute motion.
Okay, I'll second that motion for discussion. Discussion from council. Mr. Braden?
I'm just wondering why Chatham would not want this beach parking, paid parking at all.
Yeah, so indefinitely would be just table it, and if somebody wanted to bring it up in the future, they could. I've never supported the beach parking. I know it kind of conflicts with my paid parking in the harbor. To me, you know, we have a difference on opinion on who's parking at the beach, but I just think it's too much to ask of Destin residents. Even if we provide them free parking, it's just at a time when people are economically hurting. And we don't have enough beach, and so I think it's an insult to injury. It's the way I've always felt about it. So I never supported the motion in the first place when we initiated this program, and I would like to see it go away. So tabling it's my way of doing that.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Joey, can you honestly say that most of the parking down there is out-of-state tags or local tags?
Majority of the parking that we do see out of there is out of state. That's majority of the people that we see out there. I can't say more than less, but what we see is over the 50 percentile.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Okay. Council, any further questions or comments? Mr. Menschel, did you have a question, comment?
Yes, I did. The important thing for everybody to understand is that we're going to be giving our residents a pass so they do not have to pay. We need to just ask the city manager if he could expand on how we're going to get that word out, because obviously if we're going to start 1 July, this permit process has to begin pretty quickly. And if the city manager, any thoughts on that?
Absolutely. We would push that out to the public in the same way that we do the Henderson Beach Pass program and the Joe's Bayou Pass program, using our electronic means that we have available, our social media, having it on our website, mentioning it in our conversations during presentations, excuse me, and here in the council meetings, we're pushing it also.
Mayor, I seconded Chatham's motion because I share a bit of the sentiment with him, but I've also lost my appetite on the issue. You know, there's not much parking down there. I think all this is going to result in is a very trickle of a revenue stream, and we're just going to aggravate a lot of people. So that's where I'm coming from. I don't think I can support it.
Mr. Morgan?
So just with, and I'm sure that it's mostly out-of-state tags, but what I think one of the problems we have in Destin is we market for people to come down here, and we have all of these short-term rentals and hotels without deeded beach access. And then tourists get down here to go to the beautiful beaches of Destin, and they don't have anywhere to park. They don't have anywhere to go to the beach, first of all. Then when they try to go to the beach, they don't have anywhere to park. And so now, on top of going to a little 50-foot wide beach access that is jam-packed and not enjoyable, we're asking them to pay for what meager parking we have, and it just seems kind of like it doesn't rub well with me, because I think that the city of Destin, not blaming anyone up here, not blaming anyone on staff, but I think as a whole over the past 30 years, the city of Destin has failed our locals and our tourists in providing beach access. And we know it's a problem, so I think we're just kind of, it's an insult to injury for tourists and locals alike, and it's not a good look. It's not a good look for Destin. And I think, to be honest, I'm not saying it's greedy, but that's how it comes off, and that's how it will come off to our visitors that are disappointed when they get down here because they don't have anywhere to go to the beach, and then they got to pay for it. I mean, you're charging them for less than ample beach access. It's not enjoyable anyways. So.
Yeah, and Mayor Pro Tem, I think that's where I'm at as well, which is, it feels a bit like we're needling them over something we necessarily shouldn't. I think our best use of our efforts and time to try to solve the parking problem down there is to figure out clever ways to find the funding for the acquisition of more parking, and that's going to have to come from parcels on the north side of the road, and that may be a part of how we also approach our south side acquisitions, which is currently in progress. But I do think that it can't hurt to be asking for BP funds for additional parking, at which point I think if we had an actual project with a set amount, an ample set amount of parking that could actually address some of the chronic parking problems, I might be interested in talking about metering that parking if it was a means to maintain what we acquired. But this just seems like such a small amount of parking that we're just going to, it just doesn't quite seem right. So I just reiterate, I'm not going to end up going for it.
Okay, any further comments or discussion? And Ray, could you repeat the substitute motion, please?
Substitute motion is to start the beach paid parking program in July 2020, initiate the free resident beach parking pass program, and amend the parking hours for the beach parking zones to 3 a.m. till 11 p.m.
Thank you very much. If there's no further discussion on this issue, we'll go ahead and take a vote on the substitute motion. Mr. Morgan?
No.
Mr. Destin?
No.
Mr. Menschel?
Yes.
Mr. Overdeer?
Yes.
Mr. Marlar? No. Mr. Braden?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. So if my math is correct, is that 4-3? Okay, thank you. I need help. Okay, so then because this substitute passed, the original motion then has been defeated and is moot.